Hello and hi, this is Casey here, and I would like to share with you my upcoming prediction for the FRC game Crescendo. Each year has become sort of my annual tradition that I try to predict what the upcoming FRC game will look like. And beyond small clues in the theories and but beyond small clues in the teasers and patterns in FRC games, it's very difficult to predict exactly how the game will look. So essentially, I just design my own FRC game from scratch each year. And this is what I did this year. Uh, so for my prediction of how the game will work, uh, there will be robots and teams will be involved thematically in a robot assisted concert where robots can assist performers on stage, and these are the two stages, by scoring these little green handballs called beats into their amplifiers, and delivering these little foam discs called gels to their stage, and a special type of human player that presides on the stage, much like in first Steamworks, is given the special name of, in Steamworks they were called pilots. Now I'm calling them performers for this game. They can take gels that the robots have delivered them and put them into a device called their gel rack, and lights in the stage truss, which are excluded from my CAD, will illuminate the color of that gel. And then at the end of the match, the robots go over to their backstage area, and they have to store themselves for the next concert. And they either have to be small enough to go under these barriers, or they have to go over these barriers. And those are the main elements of the game. Now, getting into a few more specific things, the main part of the match will consist of teams carrying gels and beats. They can carry up to 4 beats at one time and 1 gel. And beats, like I said, are scored in these devices called amplifiers. And each stage, meaning each alliance, has 3 amplifiers. Here's one here. And here's another amplifier. And here, this is the low amplifier. The 2 high amplifiers score 4 points per beat scored, and the low amplifier scores 3 points per beat scored. And a little something extra for this year is that each beat scored increases a factor which I call the volume of the match. So for each beat scored, the volume, an alliance's volume increases by 1 decibel. That lasts for 15 seconds. So let's say a beat is scored, their volume instantly increases by 1 decibel, and then after 15 seconds after that beat was scored, that additional decibel goes away. So as more beats are scored in quick succession with another, like a bunch of beats are scored at once, the volume will be higher. And when not a lot of beats are scored together, the volume will be lower. So teams will want to organize to constantly be coordinating with their robots so that they're shooting beats into the amplifiers at the same time. So we'll get like 3 robots lining up near the stage to constantly shoot beats at a synchronized time. And here are the lower amplifier is pretty simple. There's just this kind of hole in the side of the stage that teams can deliver their beats into. The high amplifiers are where you'd have to shoot the beat into, since robots can only be, they can't be above 3 feet in my theory. And I thought about a lot of past first games, how there's games like Infinite Recharge and Stronghold, where teams have to kind of shoot balls into a hole mounted on a wall, or games like Steamworks or Rapid React, where they have to kind of lob balls into a hole in the air. But I thought it's never been done before that they've had to shoot some sort of ball straight up in the air into an upside down mounted thing. So for the high amplifiers, teams kind of, let me see if I can zoom in on one. They shoot through this opening, and the beats ricochet off these polycarbonate walls, which is what, in the theme of the game and the story, creates the sound and helps build up the volume of the concert. So teams shoot their beats into here, and each of the amplifiers has different scores which take the beats and count them up and mark when they're scored, and will increase the volume as such. And then once the Alliance members on stage, the performers, they receive the beats, they deliver them to this device called the beat drop. So they place them here, and then excluded from the CAD, there's going to be a rope that attaches to the beat drop and kind of works as a pulley up through one of the bars in the truss. And if you pull down on that rope, you can lift the beat drop up, and that will cause the beats that have been collected on the stage to go down over the backstage area and return onto the field. So that's how beats scored on the stage return to the carpet and robots below. And one thing I haven't mentioned about volume is, again, it's for every beat scored, the volume increases by 1 decibel for 15 seconds. And then after that beat has been scored, 15 seconds later, the volume will go down by 1. But if an Alliance can ever get their volume to 18 decibels or higher during a match at any point, even if it doesn't last, like it probably won't, they get something called the amplification bonus, which is a bonus ranking point. The other main element of the match, again, is taking these lighting gels, which I simply call gels, and delivering them to this device in front of the stage called the input. So there are these little slots the robots can deliver these gels, which again are foam discs, and just stick them through these holes, and then performers on the stage will take those gels and put them in this little mechanism. You can see the circular slot for the gels to roll down, which is called the gel rack. And there's a little color sensor right here, and the color sensor will pick up the color of the gel and illuminate the truss in the color of the most recently scored gel. And if teams can manage to deliver one of each different colored gels into their gel rack in a match, in a qualification match, they will score a bonus ranking point that I call the illumination bonus. Beyond that, regardless of color, gels score points on their own. Each gel is 15 points that is delivered to the gel rack, or 20 points in the autonomous period. But here's the thing about gels. They get a bonus plus the current volume. So a gel scored in the teleop period is 15 points plus the current level of volume. So what performers can do is they can store gels that have been delivered, and when their volume is up at the highest, like when a bunch of cells are being scored, then they can place their beat in. And that gives sort of bonus points for the higher the volume is, the more beats that are being scored rapidly. Then, towards the end of the match, robots can park or be stored backstage for 50 points per each robot stored, and their bumpers have to be entirely in this area that is marked by the tape. And those are the 3 main elements of the games. Launch beats, and thus increase the volume, deliver gels, and store your robot backstage. Some additional things: each robot starts against the side of their stage in these areas these 2 areas on the side of the stage. Those are called the wings, and they're also a protected area, and that's where robots start the match. They can be preloaded with 1 gel and 2 beats, which they can shoot into their amplifiers. For in the autonomous period, it's 8 beats per high amplifier, 8 points per beat per high amplifier, and in the low amplifier, it's 6 points per beat. And I wanted to make the values in the different amplifiers similar, so that low-ranking teams could have more, be able to do more in a match. And the high amplifiers, though, are still really important because there's not a lot of room up here. So if you want to score beats in quick succession and get those bonus points for the volume, you have to kind of take up multiple areas around the stage and different amplifiers and score all at once into them. Let's see, what else? The loading stations are pretty simple. There's just a slot for the gels and the beats. Oh, here's a minor detail that's kind of interesting. Uh, the colder colored gels, so green, blue, and purple, are placed in a different loading station than the warm colored gels. And there's no real reason for this other than to it advances the challenge that teams have to kind of keep track of what gels they've scored and what gels they haven't, and coordinate with the human players what gels they need. In a qualification match, of course, because once the playoff matches advance, the colors really have no meaning. The colors are only important in scoring the illumination bonus in the qualification matches, and all colored gels score the same amount of points, which again is for the tele-up 15 points plus the current volume of the stage, and an autonomous 20 plus the current volume of the stage. So for autonomous, the main goal, I didn't put a lot of pre-stage game pieces on the field. Teams can shoot, they can leave their wing, which is 8 points, and they can also go around to deliver gels. That's going to be a little more difficult, so that's what's going to take up a large part of the autonomous period. And alliances, if they want, they can also store, they can pre-stage 6 beats in there. This is called the input area in front of the stage if they want. So teams with more autonomous strategies can go forth and do that. There's also, the performers on stage are allowed to use the beat drop during the autonomous. So if robots want to get really fancy further along in the season with fancy autonomouses, they can collect beats that have dropped from the beat drop during the autonomous and continue to score them in the amplifiers. But that will be a little more difficult. Let's see, what else? That's pretty much the main elements of the game. Score beats, increase the volume, deliver gels, and return backstage for the next concert. And there are also April tags that hopefully I've done right. This is the right family, I believe, for the April tags that will be used in the actual Crescendo game. Let's see, anything else I haven't mentioned? Oh, the stage. So unlike Steamworks, there are going to be 3 performers on the stage, as opposed to in Steamworks it was only 2 pilots. So this, 1 per team. This makes all the teams feel more included. Like if someone wants to be a pilot in Steamworks, they might not have been able to for a match because the other 2 teams might have wanted their pilot up there. And I felt that often kind of created sort of a tension between teams that felt that they were more serious. They wanted to always have their pilot in the airship. This year, it's 3 different performers on the stage, 1 from each team. So that gets rid of that. The stage is also a lot larger than the airship. And they access the stage at the beginning, before the match and after the match, by this little door, known as the stage door. There we go. It opens like that. And the opening to the stage is actually, and of course this is secure during the match, but the opening is wide enough that it's actually wheelchair accessible with a ramp. So that makes it more fun. And let's see. I think that's pretty much everything. Oh, there is an extra cable cover floating down here. I'll have to get rid of that. But yeah, for more info on like the exact rules and the exact all the exact details of the game, I have a document with like a bunch of details that you can read through if you want. But yeah, I just love theorizing the next game each year and designing my own version of the first game. I bet in reality Crescendo will look much different from this, although I feel like I am getting better at predicting some of the upcoming games. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you all, and I will be back around next year for my prediction of the 2025 game, which I have a feeling might be water-based, but that's my own personal theory. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I am looking forward to the kickoff in like 2 days, at least. It's January 4th right now, so the kickoff will be in 2 days. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and also, I have resources on my website for scouting and my other theories for the past years, and ref sheets. I don't know, I just like to fill my website up with helpful resources that I design. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and bye!